I'm Marimar Cabanas, the leader of Group 7. Our topic is all about growth, development, and maturity. My members are Jerlyn Igos, Leslie Contalita, and Juan Cortez. The first topic will be discussed by me, entitled Growth, Development, and Maturity, and Factors of Development, while the second topic will be discussed by Leslie Contalita, entitled Chromosomes, and the third topic will be discussed with Jerlyn Igos, entitled Twins and Multiple Birds, and the fourth and last topic will be discussed by Juan Cortez. Growth, Development, and Maturity. Critical in the study of development are the concepts of growth and development, meaning the growth to main development or the development to main growth. These terms are not interchangeable. Growth refers to qualitative changes in increasing size and structure, like the increasing size and structure of the internal and external parts of the body. Development refers to qualitative changes. It may also be defined as a progressive series of orderly, coherent changes leading toward the goal of maturity. Maturity is the end or goal of growth and development. It is characterized by the completion of the qualitative and qualitative changes such that the organism has the capacity to function physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, or morally in a manner of characteristics of a normal behavior. Factors of development. These are two factors that determine or influence growth and development. These are heredity and environment. These two factors contribute to what we are and to what we will be. Heredity. It is the process by which various characteristics or traits are transmitted to the offspring through the genes of parents or ancestors at the time of fertilization or conception. Fertilization is the process by which the father's sperm cell unites with the mother's ovum or egg. Both father and mother's reproductive cells contain 2 to 3 chromosomes respectively. When these two germ cells or sperm and ovum unite, fertilization takes place and the fertilized egg is a called zygote.
Good day everyone, I'm Leslie Pantalita, a BSIT student from Cebu Technological University, Argao campus, and I'm here in front of you to discuss about chromosomes. Chromosomes are long, colored, special-shaped molecules with a hair-like structure that contains tightly coiled strands of deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA. Chromosomes are found within the nucleus of each cell of the body. Most human cells contains 46 chromosomes in 23 pairs. At conception, an offspring receives 23 chromosomes are duplicated as the cell divided and are found in every cell of the body, which are contributed equally to the new offsprings. Each chromosome is made up of long strands of deoxyribonucleic acid or the DNA. DNA is a primary genetic substance that actually carries the hereditary information. DNA molecules looks like twisted ladder or a double-stranded helix. The DNA gives special hereditary instruction for the cellular development of the body. What results is the development of all cells of the body that make up the hands, brains, nerves, and other parts of the body. A simple chromosome has a number of dark bands, each of which represents the genes. Genes carry the hereditary traits. Genes also comes in pairs. One gene in each chromosome comes from the sperm chromosomes and the other gene comes from the ovum chromosomes. Thus, an offspring receives only half of the parent's total gene. A total of about 100,000 are located in the 23 chromosomes. With this number, it is extremely unlikely that the two human beings would have the same hereditary traits, even with the same parents. An exception is the identical twins who have been developed in the same fertilized eggs have almost the same chromosomes and genes. However, because genes are assorted by chance and there's no way of controlling the assortment, each offspring will be different from everyone else, even among identical twins. Next topic will be discussed by Jerlyn Igos about twins and multiple birth.
Good day everyone, I'm here in front of you to tackle about twins and multiple births. But before that, let me introduce myself to all of you. I'm Charlene Igos, a BSIT student of CTU Argao campus. Twins may be identical, fraternal, and siamese. Fraternal twins are the results of the fertilization of two ripe eggs simultaneously released by the ovary. And identical twins are monozygotic, comes from a single cells that splits into halves because identical twins associated from the same zygote. They are always have the same sex, resemble each other in all hereditary physical traits, but differ in some aspects as mentally, socially, emotionally, or morally. In rare cases, the division of the zygote is incomplete and the result is a pair of Siamese twins, or also called conjoined twins, who may be joined at the buttocks, at the chest, at the brains, and other parts of the body. The name Siamese arose because the first such twins that received publicity came from Siam. Now we call it Thailand in 19th century. A multiple birth comes when more than one fetus arrive to term in a single primary. Different names for multiple births are used depending on the number of offspring. Common multiple births are 2 and 3, known as twins and triplets respectively. These and other multiple births occur to varying degrees in most animal species, although the term is most applicable to placental species. Terms used for the order multiple birth: 2 offsprings, twins; 3 offsprings, triplets; 4 offspring, quadruplets; 5 offsprings, quintuplets; 6 offspring, sextuplets; 7 offspring, septuplets; 8 offspring, octuplets; 9 offspring, nonuplets; 10 offspring, decaplets; 11 offspring, undecaplets; and 12 offspring, duodecaplets. Next topic will be discussed by Juan Cortez, entitled Principles of Heredity.
I am Juan Cortez. My topic to be discussed is all about the principle of heredity. There are 5 principles that govern the process of heredity. First principle, the principle of reproduction. Individuals of the same family have similar genes and traits. Each parent contributes half of his or her genes to the child, and the child contributes half of his or gene to his or her children. An example, a man married to a woman, they contribute half of their genes to their child, and the child perhaps married to other child, and they contributed half of their genes to it. It simplifies means of reproducing new individual by contributing genes. The second principle, the principle of variation. This principle is known as the principle of individual difference. No 2 individuals are the same kind of very exactly alike. Principles about identical twins. Even at the bear the same face, but on the other aspect of being a person, they have difference, maybe differ in a varying attitude or traits, and his really proves that there are no 2 individuals and they're the same, but it's one of us, their own way of being individual. The third principle, the principle of chance. Because genes are assorted by a chance, there is no way of controlling the assortment. Each child will be different from everyone else. Example, it's related to a second principle. It simply means that a child differs from another child because they have their own characteristic and it's assorted by chance. The fourth principle of dominance and recessiveness. Some genes are dominant, others recessive. If both members of the genes pair are dominant, the child will manifest the trait determined by dominant genes. If one gene is dominant and the other gene is recessive, the child will manifest the trait determined the dominant genes, but we also carry the recessive gene will be expressed and later on the offspring. It means that principle simply means that a dominant genes will manifest than recessive genes because they are stronger than recessive, but the genes that is recessive that he or she has well expressed through this their offspring. The fifth principle of sex-linked traits. The first 23 sex chromosomes, the third determine the sex of individual and carry genes for a certain traits that are called the sex-linked. It means that the 23 pairs of chromosome determine the sex of individual and those genes carried a certain traits that be inherited by a child. That's all my topics about the principle of heredity.